Have you ever pondered, where did this universe come from? Does it have a starting point, or is it merely an endless chain without conclusion? This question has troubled humanity for thousands of years, from ancient philosophers to modern scientists. Yet, did you know that over 2,500 years ago, the Buddha, the knower of worlds, pierced through the essence of the cosmos with profound wisdom? He did not do so to fuel endless debates, but to illuminate a path out of suffering for us all. Join me, one who has devoted many years to studying the Dharma, as we explore how the Buddha addressed this monumental question not with mere theories, but through a vibrant practice brimming with inspiration and meaning, accessible to everyone, no matter where you stand on this vast earth. When the world divides over beliefs. Imagine yourself standing in a vast plaza, surrounded by hundreds of voices rising together in a chaotic chorus of faith and doubt. A man steps forward, his tone resolute. I trust only what I can see: the sun rising, the river flowing, my hand touching the earth. Nothing supernatural exists. Across the square, another rises, eyes ablaze with conviction, retorting, how narrow-minded you are. The universe is more than what the senses can grasp. There are realms, realities beyond the ordinary eye. This clash is no modern invention. It unfolded thousands of years ago, in the Buddha's time, within the ancient land of India, where schools of thought clashed like waves against a rocky shore. In those days, India was a vibrant crucible of philosophy and spirituality, a place where people tirelessly sought answers to life's grand questions about existence and the cosmos. There were materialists, known as Lokayata or Carvaka, who argued that the world was nothing more than a blend of four elements: earth, water, air, and fire. For them, no soul endured, no afterlife existed, nothing lay beyond what the senses could verify. When the body dissolved, all ceased, and notions of morality or karma were mere illusions crafted by human minds. In contrast, followers of Skaya or devotees of the Vedic tradition believed in an eternal soul, an Atman transcending death, woven into the universe through a divine bond. They saw the material world as a superficial veil, concealing a deeper truth. Then there were other views, like those of the Jains, who proclaimed that the soul and the world were distinct entities coexisting within a strictly ordered universe, where every deed left an imprint of karma. Some skeptics rejected everything, declaring nothing certain, no beginning, no end, and all attempts to explain the cosmos futile. Others placed faith in a supreme creator, such as Brahma in the Brahmanical tradition, while some insisted the world arose from chaos, random and purposeless. These perspectives were not mere words, they were the sparks igniting fierce debates in streets, forests, and courts, among ascetics and kings alike. Amid this divided landscape, the Buddha emerged not as a warrior charging into battle, but as a master who saw through the heart of every contention. Revered as the knower of worlds, he took no side, aligning neither with materialism nor the supernatural. Instead, he posed a transformative question: does your belief help you end suffering? For the Buddha, the issue was not what the world is, but how we respond to it. He recognized that whether you believe in a cold, material universe or a realm teeming with angels and demons, suffering remains the crimson thread woven through every human experience. When you lose a loved one, when your aspirations crumble, when life drives you to despair, suffering needs no validation from science or divinity to be real. The Buddha's approach is uniquely powerful, especially for us across the world today. He denied no one's experience. If you're a Westerner, enamored with science, trusting only what can be measured, he honors that view, saying, very well, start with what you see but look deeper into your mind. If you're from the East, raised on tales of rebirth, heavens, and hells, he doesn't dismiss you. If that's your world, let it be a doorway to understanding suffering. He taught that each person bears their own karma, past actions shaping how they perceive and encounter reality. Those who see only trees and rivers have their karma. Those who've glimpsed mysteries like strange lights in meditation or prophetic dreams have theirs too. Yet, the common truth is this: whatever your worldview, you can still generate suffering from it. Consider this: when you argue with someone over beliefs, doesn't irritation, pride, or fear of being refuted make you miserable? When you cling to "I'm right, they're wrong," doesn't your mind bind itself to a narrow world of conflict? The Buddha saw this and declared, "Whether you dwell in New York amid skyscrapers or a Himalayan temple, suffering knows no geography or culture." More crucially, he proclaimed a path beyond it, a path not tethered to belief in the supernatural or reliance on the senses alone. Through this lens, the Dharma is not a system to defend or assail. It is an invitation for all, from those immersed in daily toil to those who've spent lifetimes seeking truth. The Buddha doesn't compel you to accept his words blindly. He urges you to observe: when you suffer, what stirs in your mind? When you're joyful, what causes it to fade? This is the starting point for anyone on earth, be you an engineer, artist, farmer, or monk. He doesn't teach you to triumph in cosmic debates, but to triumph over yourself, transcending barriers your mind creates. Thus, he opens a wide gate, where people of every origin and belief can find peace unbound by the external world. The universe within worlds we create. Picture your mind as a skilled artisan, tirelessly weaving radiant tapestries of the world around you. Each thread is a thought, each pattern an emotion, each finished work the fruit of deep-seated desires within. With unparalleled wisdom, the Buddha discerned that the world is not a fixed entity, standing still for us to explore or measure. Rather, it springs from craving, the fierce longing in our hearts that drives us to seek pleasure, evade pain, and affirm our existence. When you desire something, you don't merely wish, you construct an entire miniature universe to serve that yearning, with self as the central figure and world as the stage. The Buddha termed this process becoming, bhava, a concept both simple and profound, resonating with everyone today. Imagine an ordinary morning: you wake, craving a warm cup of tea. Instantly, your mind begins its artistry. You envision holding the cup, warmth spreading through your hands, the fragrant aroma filling your senses. That self emerges in dual roles: a self that savors the one whole relish that tranquil moment, and a self that acts the one who rises, brews the tea, or pushes past laziness to fulfill the wish. Simultaneously, a world takes shape: the kitchen becomes the hub, the kettle, the tea leaves, the waiting time, all revolving around that modest desire. This isn't a fanciful tale, it's how every mind operates, from simple urges like hunger to grand dreams of success or love. Yet, the worlds our minds craft are not always havens of peace. The Buddha likened them to ocean waves striking the shore: you push, and they push back. The tea you long for might cool before you sip it, the kettle might be empty, or someone might spill it before you reach it. This resistance compels you to adapt. You learn to read the world's signals: what's possible, what's beyond grasp. Thus, you adjust your craving, perhaps settling for water if tea isn't available, and refine yourself, growing more patient, more adept at gleaning happiness from what the world offers. This is a practical lesson anyone can see, whether you live in a remote hamlet or a bustling city. But the Buddha didn't halt at adaptation. He peered deeper, realizing that all worlds, be they material scenes or supernatural visions, are products of the mind, and thus, inherently impermanent. The joy of that tea fades, the warmth dissipates, even the greatest triumphs don't last. For Westerners, this echoes psychology: thoughts shape reality, and when thoughts shift, reality follows. For Easterners, it ties to karma: past actions mold the world you perceive now. Yet, the Buddha didn't leave you lost in theory. He affirmed, if the mind births worlds and suffering, it also holds the key to liberation, a truth for all, from busy Tokyoites to African farmers. Observe this: when someone interrupts you and anger flares, your mind conjures a world of strife, a wounded self, a world of foes. But pause, breathe deeply, let go of the anger, and that world dissolves, yielding to calm. The Buddha taught that all suffering stems from clinging to these self-made worlds. Whether you trust in science, seeing only matter, or in spirits, sensing realms unseen, the essence remains: your mind is the artisan, and suffering is the cost of over-enchantment with its creations. He doesn't ask you to abandon life, work, family, joys, but invites you to see: when I crave, what happens? When I release, what comes? This message transcends time and space, reaching every soul on earth. You needn't be a philosopher or monk to grasp it. Just one mindful moment when you eat, speak, feel reveals the world as neither foe nor savior, but a mirror of your mind. The Buddha doesn't bid you debate the universe's nature, but practice: watch your mind, see how it breeds suffering, and uncover the inner strength to rise above. Thus, he unveils a boundless path called self-awareness in the West, enlightenment in the East, leading to one end: peace within you, wherever you stand in this vast world. The path beyond self-created worlds. Envision yourself as a weary traveler, bearing a heavy pack not of tangible goods, but of worlds your mind has forged, blazing desires, unseen fears, expectations weighing each step. The Buddha, a guide with compassionate gaze and radiant wisdom, doesn't unfurl before you a detailed cosmic map of shining heavens, shadowy hells, or endless rebirths for blind faith. Instead, he offers a delicate compass, mundane right view, a simple yet potent tool to navigate life's labyrinth, wherever you are, whatever beliefs you hold. This compass doesn't demand you embrace concepts beyond comprehension like angels, immortal souls, or supernatural realms. It whispers gently: trust that your actions matter, that kindness sows happiness, that malice leaves scars not just now, but perhaps beyond the edge of life and death. The Buddha doesn't force you to accept rebirth or karma as absolute truths. He invites you to test them in your own life, like a scientist probing a hypothesis or a farmer planting seeds to watch them sprout. Smile at someone and see their joy return. Doesn't that prove goodness has worth? Speak harshly and feel regret's burden. Isn't that karma unfolding before you? This approach is intimate and universal, crossing all cultural and creedal lines. For Westerners fond of logic and evidence, it's practical advice: live kindly, observe the outcome, you needn't believe beyond your experience. For Easterners familiar with karma and rebirth, it confirms each choice leaves a mark, perhaps stretching further than this life. But the Buddha didn't linger on faith or theory. He stressed practice, action in each moment. He cared not whether you debated the universe's origin or infinity. He said, start where you stand, with what you feel, and walk with awareness. This path isn't just a lovely notion, it's a living journey, requiring mindfulness, concentration, and perseverance. Mindfulness lights your way. Eating, do you taste the food, or does your mind wander? Speaking, are you aware of your words, or do they spill unchecked? Concentration anchors your mind against cravings' tides. When anger rises, rather than argue, you pause, breathe, ask, whence this fury? Perseverance is the resolve to press on when life hardens. When old habits tug, you rise and persist. Picture this: you're in line for coffee, and someone cuts ahead. Your mind builds a world of injustice and offended self, a world of rudeness. But with mindfulness, you see, discomfort is just a feeling, born of, I'm mistreated. With concentration, you curb the outburst. With perseverance, you let go and smile. That world fades, replaced by ease. Through this practice, burdened self-made worlds of strife become a school, each moment teaching release. This message reaches all on earth, from London office workers to Indian farmers under scorching sun. You needn't forsake job, family, or beliefs to tread this path. The Buddha doesn't call you to monkhood or retreat from life. He urges awareness, do good, and your world brightens, not because it changes, but because your mind does. Restrain harm, and inner weight lifts, not because circumstances shift, but because you learn freedom from bondage. This is the way beyond self-made worlds, not fleeing reality, but mastering your mind, step by step, wherever you journey in this vast human expanse. Transcending the universe, liberation of mind. Imagine standing before a boundless sea, where waves of self and world that once swept you away now recede, revealing the tranquil shore of your heart. The Buddha, with wisdom beyond all words, named this transcendent right view, a vision unshackled from familiar queries: who am I? Is this world real? Where does the universe lead? Rather than let you spin in such musings, he turns your gaze inward, posing four simple yet piercing questions, like a lighthouse in the dark. What is suffering? Whence does it arise? How can it cease? What path leads to freedom? Here, all you deemed solid, your felt body, fleeting emotions, passing thoughts, the outer world you touch appears as transient currents, no longer labeled mine or fixed reality. Say you feel anxious perhaps over a looming meeting or a fraying bond. Instead of asking, why am I so wretched, or who caused this, you pause and watch. Anxiety is a sensation, sparked by something bad will happen, and it fades if unfed. The Buddha taught that all you experience, from joy at a favorite song to sorrow when rain ruins plans, is the mind's fabrication, swayed by ignorance. But see this clearly, and the mind transforms those fabrications into wings, lifting you beyond all ties. This path demands keen mindfulness, keeping your mind rooted in the now, unswayed by past echoes or future shadows. Walking down a street, do you feel each step, or is your mind tangled in to-do lists? The Buddha bids you view body, feelings, thoughts as they are, unadorned by "this is me" or framed as "the world out there." Do this, and you see every craving for happiness, against pain, for self-assertion as invisible cords. Releasing them isn't forsaking life, but unveiling a vast freedom where you're no longer your own captive. As mindfulness and wisdom ripen, your mind touches a wondrous realm the Buddha called consciousness without surface. This isn't a vague nirvana of texts or a distant paradise reached only in death. It's liberation here and now, where the mind clings to no world, be it the chaos of horns and dust or an imagined heaven of light and peace. Like a breeze passing no tree, it's free in itself, indefinable as is or isn't. This is freedom's peak, where cosmic concepts, scientific or mythic, lose meaning, for you've transcended them. This call echoes to all worldwide, from New York subway crowds to those by Thailand's calm rivers. You needn't be a sage or scripture master to reach it. The Buddha invites practice in daily life, washing dishes, feel the water, hear the soap bubbles pop. Grieving, don't flee or blame, sit with it, watch it drift like clouds. Letting go of self, the need to be someone, to possess, you don't lose yourself, but find ease beyond conditions. Here, the Dharma isn't a creed to argue or guard. It's a lamp for all, from materialists trusting science to seekers sensing the unseen. The Buddha doesn't ask you to ditch work, kin, or joys. He urges awareness. In anger, see it clearly. In bliss, know it passes. Through each instant, you rise above the universe, not denying it, but realizing all suffering, all worlds, stem from the mind, and liberation lies there too, awaiting discovery, whoever you are, wherever you stand in this broad human journey. An invitation to you. Picture the Buddha before you, eyes gentle as a full moon, voice warm as a spring breeze. Cease chasing debates on the universe's origin or limits. Such questions may never find answers. Turn within, see what unfolds in your mind, right here, right now. He doesn't come to make you a scholar steeped in texts or urge you to flee daily life for a cave's solitude. Instead, he offers a priceless gift, a path of mindful, gentle, fulfilling living open to all worldwide, from Sao Paulo's busy streets to America's windswept plains. He doesn't demand you shed your beliefs, whether you're a scientist, trusting physics and numbers, or a soul attuned to unseen realms' vibrations. The Buddha simply says, suffering is real. You feel it when losing what's dear, when desires fail, when life seems to turn away. And if suffering is real, so is the path beyond it. This call knows no borders or barriers. It's for the laborer toiling under harsh sun, the youth lost in a tech-flooded world, and anyone yearning for a moment's peace amid life's rush. Recall a daily moment, helping a stranger, offering a bus seat, or listening to a friend. Doesn't your heart lighten? Holding back a harsh word, though anger blazes, doesn't your mind calm like a lake after wind? The Buddha promises no golden-gated heaven or perfect cosmos where all aligns. He shows the light in your hands, living with compassion, awareness, and faith that small acts lead to freedom. You needn't meditate hours atop mountains or memorize long sutras. Just begin simply, a deep breath in stress, a smile to another, a quiet pause to hear yourself. So, what will you choose? To whirl in grand queries: where did the universe start? What lies beyond death? Unresolved even by the wisest. Or to walk the Buddha's path, needing no map, just heart and open eyes. He left a treasury of wisdom, unbound by religion, nation, or era, for the mother lulling her child, the executive racing deadlines, and you, here, now. This path isn't distant or arcane. It's in how you face today. Sad, don't run, sit with it, see it pass like a guest. Glad, don't cling, savor it with gratitude, knowing its fleetingness. Kind, act not for reward, but because it's right. The Buddha doesn't teach you to be another, but your fullest self, more awake, compassionate, free. Take a step, however small. Touch life mindfully, eating, taste each bite, speaking, choose each word, breathing, feel the air fill you. In those moments, you'll see the universe isn't a riddle to solve, but a mirror of your mind. And in that mirror, true light, peace, joy, freedom lies not afar, but within, awaiting you, whoever you are, wherever you stand on this vast human journey.